but not quite. So very unfortunate for them, but you know, sometimes it happens. You got to take the L once in a while, and they're here to see if they can beat out LSU, longtime rivals from the South as well. Again, a very strong roster with T-Bates leading the way, along with Donnie and Lotek is usually their starting roster. I believe we've seen them before actually playing with Slats and one other I can't think of off the top of my head, but they have a bountiful roster, let's just put it that way. Plenty of GCs there. I'm sure they're going to bring out a good roster for today.
Oh, 100%. And as you mentioned earlier about the qualifying game, yes, it was actually I was rooting for Afterthought myself, but
okay.
Just the way that it ended kind of was unfortunate. The own goal and then the kickoff goal right after, which was just unfortunate. And again, like you mentioned, the CRL, Akron got the best of them, but they're going to be here. They want to prove that they still deserve a shot at winning CSL and trying to get revenge on Akron maybe later in the bracket. But they do have to go through LSU first here. So we'll see if they can do that.
It'll be a bit of a challenge, as you mentioned. And a fun fact, in case anybody didn't notice, no, actually, Navy Striker is the sub for Sway Esports. I feel like the team might be breaking up. We've seen a couple of things on Twitter. Obviously, nothing solid yet, but a little bit of a rivalry between teammates, I guess is the way to put that, which would be a little bit weird. And as the players are loading up, it looks like we got Reverb that's going to be playing in for Donnie today, but the teams are ready. We are ready. Let's get into this one. Shock rocking that Ranking Cup champion title. Oh boy, sends shivers down your spine, doesn't it? That gives me flashbacks, I'll tell you right there. But 5 minutes on the clock. We're getting started here with game number 1. Let's get right into it. UIUC gonna be on the blue side of the ball, and LSU going to be challenging from the orange. And they're starting off with their first shot. Shock is there to beat it rather easily, dropping it off in the corner. Reverb fast in the air. Teammate's gonna be up for that one off the back wall. Low-Tech lurking in the midfield. Can't do too much with this one. They'll take it out to the side, looking for a piece of the backboard. Navy Striker is going to be there to meet it. Solid defense from UIUC, as we've expected. I mean, we've seen in past games, honestly, UIUC playing basically defense the entire game and still winning out against LSU. And a great dunk there from Skyscraper. Towards the big crossbar down. Navy Striker's there.
What a great dunk there from Skyscraper, just getting in the face of... Was that T-Bates? Yes, it was. And Navy just there to finish it off. Just great awareness as he just turns around, gets that boost, and puts it home for the early 1-0 lead for UIUC.
Skyscraper, the big question mark for this team. I mean, when you're playing with the likes of Navy Striker and Shock, it's going to be a little bit challenging. But he did pull it through there. A nice save from Shock as well. A bit of a miscommunication there. T-Bates bumped by Reverb. We'll allow for a bit of offense here from UIUC. Shock's in the air looking for the double tap. He has it, but it's off the backboard once again. Skyscraper is there, but met by Low-Tech. And a great defensive play, but they're not out of the woods yet. It's going to drop off into their own corner.
Something that I'm noticing is that UIUC is just able to keep that pressure on, steal that boost, keep LSU kind of in their own net, if you will, as Shock was just able to go for that, like, double touch pretty freely. There's no one on the side of LSU to challenge it.
Defense a very important part of the game. I mean, you leave Shock that kind of space, he's going to make use of it. Couldn't put it on net that time around, obviously, with that double tap. Just no boost in the tank. But still a very real threat. A minute and a half gone now. As LSU tries to pick up on the action in the offensive end. Good opportunity there from Reverb and a great demo as well. But no shot comes through. Skyscraper going to try and touch us to the midfield line. Bit of a miscommunication there. Good dunk as well. Reverb's going to be first up for it. And we're playing a bit of a midfield game.
Yeah, we really are. Especially even after that first goal from UIUC, it's more of just kind of back and forth at this point. You know, UIUC has had a little bit of pressure on LSU's end, but LSU has also returned the favor with pressure of their own. So we'll see if LSU can come back here. I'm not sure.
Quality opportunity there. Skyscraper's going to save it away. T-Bates in the air, looking for the double tap. You know he can do it, but Shock is respecting that. Some quick offense there from Louisiana State does not pay dividends. They're still looking for it. As it pushes past the midfield line, Navy Striker to control in his own corner. Did grab that corner boost as well. Great dunk from Low-Tech, just a little bit over the bar. But they are hounding. Reverb in the air. Can't get the dunk on Shock. It's moving the other way. Low-Tech loses that 50-50. It might be an open net. Shock trying to make a play, but couldn't put it on target. I like the idea. What a great shutdown there by T-Bates, closing the gap, and a wonderful dunk from Low-Tech to put it downfield.
Yeah, just a great play to clear that one away. Shock, unfortunately, wasn't able to get it around the post, but he did a good job of just forcing the LSU defense into a tough spot as he saves that one away too. Ooh.
Yeah, the same reaction. That was a close call there.
Yeah.
Close call, tie scraper.
Oh man.
He does get it away though, which is the important part.
Yes.
We'll remain on the blue half for just a moment before Shock clears it away. Reverb going to toss it down to his teammate. That's T Bates. Losing that one out. Control from Navy Striker. Great bump from T Bates. Low tech going low. Shock does manage to save. And T Bates out of boost is forced to retreat. Great pass from Navy Striker over to tie scraper. Again, will bear no fruit. LSU still looking for the attack. A speculative shot. Couldn't quite find the upper 90 from T Bates. They've got about 18 seconds to make something out of this. LSU, I mean, they've been having some possession, but not necessarily the most quality shots.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Shock's also been there to clear away the lines whenever LSU has had a quality shot or quality opportunity. And that's just what you're going to get with that quality RLRS player. But we'll see if they can break past Shock. And it's not going to look like it.
You're asking if they're going to be able to break past Shock in the meantime, and Shock is breaking past them at the midfield line.
Oh.
So, I guess maybe we're looking at the wrong perspective on that one. So, let's... UIUC with a 2-goal lead now, and it's honestly a little bit surprising that this was their second goal only. Like I mentioned, LSU, they've had plenty of possession, but at the same time, UIUC have been looking fairly strong the entire game long. Plenty of saves, plenty of shots to boot, and it looks like they're going to be taking the game 1 win unless our Orange boys can pull something out of the hat, which I just don't see happening. As I mentioned, Shock, a real standout player, always going to be a standout player. At that highest level, he's able to pop off and carry his team, but against LSU, it's just all the easier for him. Not to say that it's necessarily easy inherently, but there's a bit of a double commit, and T-Bates got an open net. There you go.
Yep, and the double commit just coming back to haunt Illinois. A lack of communication there, and Tie Scraper and Navy Striker both go for that. And T-Bates just slides it right home, and with 30 seconds left, they're only down by 1, so the comeback is possible here.
Possible. Put on your tin hats. I guess not necessarily tin hats. Here we go. Low tech with a shot opportunity. Oh, right off the post. There's still a chance, though. Great demo from T-Bates. Looking for purchase on the back wall. The final 10 rapidly approaching off the side from Low tech. Great pass. T-Bates with no boost in the tank. Drops down in center. Reverb's not there for it. Still a chance, though. But Low tech has to play passive on that ball. It'll be moved back to the orange wall. This is going to be a challenge for LSU if I've ever seen one. It's going to drop to Reverb. He does catch it for just a second before it falls to the ground.
And right there, that was really unfortunate for T-Bates. It just had the first opportunity that he had went right off the post, and he wasn't able to read it. And then he went for a double tap, and he didn't have any boost to finish it off. And then there was no one in the midfield to finish it off. So on the side of UIC, it's kind of scary. If they didn't get a little bit lucky, I'm going to say that now. If they didn't get a little bit lucky, LSU ties this game, and we're going to overtime.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose you're right on that front.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things really is UIUC, I mean, Shock and Navy Striker are both incredibly high-level players, as we've commented on, I think, enough this series so far. But I feel like maybe practicing with their teams respectively for the rival series play-ins, of course, Shock with Afterthought and Navy Striker with Sway as their substitute, may have detrimented a little bit from their team chemistry. Of course, Navy Striker did say in his interview for the CRL that they've been practicing together, but, you know, with RLR's play-ins just being barely behind us, some miscommunications may happen, and here's not going to be a miscommunication from Navy Striker and Shock. They know exactly what to do with that one. Put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, just a fantastic passer from Shock, putting it up high, and Navy putting a tough shot on for T-Bates, just really unable to do anything with it as the shot right at him. No forward momentum, and Shock's just there to clean up the garbage, as they say.
Another early lead for UIUC. We'll have to see if LSU can respond in time this time around. Reverb beating out Shock on that one. I do like it. But Navy Striker's able to put it right back down the other way, and we're in the orange half once again. Low tech beaten out by Shock there. T-Bates 50-50 neutral. Great speed from Reverb. He might have shot, but a great cutoff by Navy Striker. Not going to let that one go through at all. Any day of the week. He's stopping that one in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good pressure. It was a really good pass from Reverb, but Navy just cutting every angle off. And that's kind of what I've seen out of the UIUC defense. Oh man, that was almost an unforced error out of LSU, but off the post.
A little bit more accuracy there from Tie Scraper would have been wonderful, but they do still have the lead, so nothing of it. Bit of an awkward play there for LSU. A double bump from Shock. Here's Navy Striker, crossbar, and away. Tie Scraper for the finish, but couldn't find the angle on the ball. It'll drop down to low tech, flick over top of one. Shock's in the air, and a mastermind in the air. You have to be if you're able to make it all the way to the rival series. He shows it off there, no problem. For UIUC transitioning back onto the defense, and it seems like it's just been that way all series long so far.
It really has. Shock's been that rock on defense, really, for Illinois. Just able to block really any opportunity that comes their way. He's just able to read the game at a faster pace than really LSU is able to read that. So it's just fantastic to have that kind of player if you're on the side of Illinois.
Indeed it is. We approach the 3-minute, or sorry, we passed the 3-minute mark. Just now, UIUC will maintain their lead solidly. Shot differential of 5, favoring our boys in blue. Here's a shot opportunity from Shock, and Lotec can't make the play on that one. Great touch there. Way to play in the midfield as well.
Yeah, T-Bate's just kind of trying to flick it, but Shock just putting that shot right behind him. Lotec in a bad spot for that shot as he just unfortunately isn't able to get back to that back post, and Illinois grabs a 2-0 lead with just under half the game gone.
They almost had a goal off an unforced error earlier. That was a great forced error. Of course, Navy Striker bearing down on T-Bates from behind, forced the flick out of him, and now an opportunity here. Tie Scraper puts it up high. This one's coming down. A read is T-Bates. He's responsible for the read at the very least. Their first big banger downfield. We'll have to see if LSU can set up shop here. Great touch from Shock right over to Navy Striker. They're taking possession. They're moving down the other way. Reaver bumps him out of the way, but the ball was the more important part of that play. Now it's the other way. Navy Striker. Excellent dunk. Lotec was there in time, but another shot from Shock. They're not letting them take any breaks. A great reset from UIUC as they look to take control of the offense.
They're doing a great job of just forcing LSU into their own half, and the transition game has been a little suspect from UIUC, but I mean, going back to defense, but the offensive transition game has been absolutely insane with Tie Scraper and Shock just being there for every LSU ball.
I've also noticed Navy Striker playing as the man up in a lot of situations as well, trying to force a play out of the opponent's very important role indeed, and they maintain their 2-0 lead at the moment. As we approach the 90-second mark, LSU lurking at the midfield line. Now we'll move to the corner. Navy Striker's out of the play here. Reverb for the center. Actually going to look for a piece of the backboard. Couldn't find one. A bit of a double commit right there between Lotec and T-Bates, and that's going to result in the UIUC ball.
That was unforced double commit there. And UIUC is just given the ball freely, pretty much. Got to clean up on the double commits there, if you want to beat UIUC, because they're obviously a high-level team, so you got to keep the communication up.
And I feel like we've seen, what, 1 double commit out of UIUC so far, and LSU definitely, they're making that number look small.
Yeah.
They are, and that's just the way that it is. 45 seconds on the clock. Again, game 2 of this best of 5. We're looking to move to match point with a UIUC win here, and I think that's the track we're on. Well, they're looking for something.
Ooh, Shock over to Navy Striker, but anyway, they'll finish it off.
I mean, you gotta respect those passes, though. You can see Lotec was waiting for it. Here we go, though, the final offensive chance for LSU. 20 seconds on the clock. They need one with time left. In the corner, great 50-50 from Shock. Lotec's in the air, 50-50 from Shock once again. 1 out for UIUC. Bump plays coming in left and right for the guys on the orange side of this pitch, but Louisiana State gonna fall in game number 2 as well with a 2-0 or 2-1 deficit, but the ball's gonna hit the ground. It will be 2-0. Shutout. They have 1 goal in 2 regulations of Rocket League.
And it's just something that you gotta fix up, because they didn't have many shots. They had 5 shots comparative to the 10 that UIUC had, and not really any of them were threatening. But it's the double commits that I'm seeing out of LSU and just not being there in time for open shots that they have. is really killing this LSU team that I'm noticing.
And I mean, especially important is that LSU's there for those open shots when you consider the low quantity of open shots that they get. What with Shock and Navy Striker on the goal line. We'll have to see if they can remedy that here in game number 3. 5 minutes, and honestly, I think the clock's against them. As soon as UIUC even gets on the offensive side, we'll have to see how it goes. But here we go, a favorable demo. Low tech in the midfield. T-Bates actually gets a handle on that one. It's moving down the other way. That's dangerous. Navy Striker speculating towards the net. Shock will make sure it goes through. Didn't get credit for the goal, but forced T-Bates to make a bad save.
And that was just T-Bates and Low Tech going for the same ball there. I'm not sure if T-Bates called off Low Tech, but it was a touch that was unneeded from T-Bates, and it ended up in the back of his own net. So another unforced error out of LSU cost them a goal.
And again, as I mentioned, the clock now ticking against them, even more so than it was before, but they had a good chance there. Shock, of course, is going to shut that one down before it can even get close to his goal line. But here we go. More UIUC offense is up next on Dragon Ball Z. No, maybe not on Dragon Ball Z. But,
I think this is the wrong program for that.
You think? Maybe, should I try flicking the channel once in a while?
Yeah, flick.
Here we go. Looks like that offense from UIC did die down pretty quickly, but LSU's not going to be able to keep it in the blue end. Touch from Shock and another one into the corner. Playable for Low Tech on Low Tech only. Pushes out to T-Bates. No touch made, though. Ty's going to return it. Speculating towards the net, making Reverb get up for that one. I like that idea, and a great pass to Shock. Will be touched away by T-Bates. They're ready for that one. LSU's not going down without a fight.
No, they definitely aren't, but you said something about it earlier, is Illinois' offense kind of went away. They don't really have to play offense. All they have to do is just make sure that LSU doesn't get any offense of their own. They have the 1-0 lead. All they have to do is just play the ball to each other and get quality shots and run the clock down. As LSU it isn't really apparent that they don't really have any offense right now. Obviously, if they scored 1 goal through 2 games so far.
We're looking at 3 if they can't put something up this time around, but there's still 3 minutes on the clock and plenty of faith from, I'm sure, a lot of fans out there. This one moving into the blue corner. Navy Striker going to cross it in front of his net. Good touch there from Shock, but will lose possession. You're up high. Navy off his own back wall will be able to intercept on that one, and LSU need to start finding each other, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Great connection, but Shock, again, there to meet it.
Shock just reading everything. Almost finishes that one off, too, but LSU just unable to get really anything going, as Shock is just right there for every single play that they have. That passing play was very good, but just not having the ability to get through is just unfortunate for them.
It is indeed. What little quality plays we see out of them are true quality. But unfortunately, like you mentioned, none of them have quite found their way back into the net, and a bit of a miscommunication there. You can tell T-Bates might be playing a little bit nervous this series. Reverb's going to have to come across the net for that one. Good back pass. Navy to Tie Scraper. Here's Shock, lurking in the midfield, has a lot of boost to work with on this one, but not quite enough to accomplish his goal. But I mean, they're just wasting time at this point. UIUC knows that they can just lock LSU in their own half. As you mentioned, they don't need to play offense at this point. They can literally just screw with the ball here as long as they want and win the game.
Yeah, exactly. It was just exactly what they're... that goes through, I guess.
This is the pinnacle of Rocket League skill right here. You could tell. Actually, I mean, that was a good play from Shock. I feel like a bit of a better half-lip from T-Bates might have been able to save that one away. So maybe a tad bit of a mechanical mishap, but he recognized that T-Bates was really far up on that front post rotation and punished him for it. So good recognition there. I mean, that's just the way that you got to be playing at these high levels. And now an even more monumental task for LSU, but a great dunk from Low Tech looking for a bump. Navy Striker does not get hit out of the way, though. And now we're moving down to the orange half. Are they off to the races? They are, and Shock is the only one who can get a touch onto the open net.
And what a great save there from Navy. Just avoiding the bump at all costs. Both Shock and Navy go for that ball, actually. But Shock is just able to finish that one off, and it's a 3-0 lead for Illinois. And can LSU come back at this point? Do you think so?
They definitely can. Will they? Probably not. Because, I mean, Shock and Navy, of course, they've been I mean, their team plays. I mean, they've been there. Not the greatest team plays that I've ever seen, but as for their defense, it's plenty good enough to keep out whatever LSU can toss their way. We haven't really seen any sort of mishaps. The Shock fakes out one and gets it to the midfield off the 50-50. Lotex just trying to keep it in the zone at all costs. But again, there's nothing they can do. It feels like they're playing a twos game, and then UIUC, as soon as they get beat, hey, we still got that third man on the back line. Oh. Tie Scraper fell a little bit side flip there, but I think my point stands. He was on the back line.
He was on the back line. It was just an unfortunate mechanical mishap. And it's a yeah, you know, it happens on both sides, I guess. But now it's a 3-1 lead for Illinois, and who knows? Maybe LSU can come back at this point.
I mean, I'd love to stand corrected. 3-0 sweeps are not my favorite, but oh my goodness, what are you going to do against that? I don't know how Reaver was able to read that one, to be perfectly honest. A beautiful connect-the-dots play there from Navy Striker and Shock, but LSU, they're still breathing here. Push into the corner. Cross here, but Time Scraper is the first one to the ball. Nobody's back in net. Fortunately, they didn't have to be. But their own half is somewhere they desperately do not want to be right about now. Navy Striker wasting a lot of time with this one. Lowtech has to force to his corner. And as we approach the final 10 seconds, they're going to need one immediately, but it's not moving anywhere. A rock on their side of the field. Shock is going to put this one in towards the center. No touch there from teammates. And I think that's going to be the end of LSU this series. A clean 3-0 sweep for UIUC, and they showed their dominance in many ways this game.
Yeah, they really did. They scored, what, 2 goals all series, and one of them was just a side flip from Tie Scraper. And honestly, that was just a very controlled series from UIUC. Shock. Again, I've mentioned him so many times this series, but he's just been that quality player out of all of Illinois. Obviously, Navy is up there too, but Shock just being able to read the plays from LSU and not really allowing anything to come of it, any opportunity.
Yeah, they're not worried about it. I mean, UIUC was able to play their game. I feel game one was a lot closer. I mean, we saw a lot more LSU possession. I actually think they outmatched UIUC by 1 shot, if I'm remembering that correctly. I'm assuming nobody else is keeping tabs, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume that I'm correct. Per usual. Not actually. I'm really bad at remembering things, but if memory serves, LSU did have them outmatched in shots for game number 1, but it was quickly shut down. Things changed pace very rapidly, and UIUC was able to take the rest of it consistently. They're moving on to the quarterfinals. Now LSU is out of it, unfortunately. And I mean, bringing on Shock, definitely is a strong choice for them, because UIUC versus LSU used to be a staple match, but that was nowhere close to what we were expecting. Yeah,
for sure. And University of Illinois, just looking ahead in the bracket, they will play the winner of NEU, B, or Northeastern, their B team, or their Stockton University, who we saw last week play against UNC. And that is happening on Wednesday. So if you guys want to see who plays Illinois, come back Wednesday to see that.
What he's doing. I think that is going to be for us for tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So just correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, more Rocket League would always be good. But I feel, yeah, okay, I'm not wrong. I've been told. They didn't say I was right, but I'm not necessarily wrong. So I believe, actually, are we starting out at, are we starting earlier on Wednesday? Don't we have 2 matches for that day, or am I mistaken on that one as well? All right, so we do have 2 matches on Wednesday. We're going to be starting at 8:30 Eastern. So make sure you're here for that one. Obviously, more Rocket League is always better, and we hope to see you there. But I think until next time, that's going to be it for us. So thank you for tuning in. Unfortunately, we couldn't have more games for you, but I mean, UIUC looks so dominant. And we hope to see them later on the bracket. But again, we'll see you next time.